So this is more like the B part of Proverbs chapter 3. I do believe that there was some rushing up on the others recording, so this is why I have this. Now, we cannot over talk about wisdom because wisdom is just who we are. I mean, wisdom is what we need, what sets us apart. And I would like to just, sometimes when you look at some of these words from the Hebrew Bible, there are different words meaning the same thing. But my focus actually is the things that wisdom does that is written in this particular chapter. It says, happy is the man who finds wisdom and the man who gains understanding. Oh, Jesus. It says, happy is the man who gains wisdom, who finds wisdom, and the man who gains understanding. So let, let's go from this verse 13. We have talked about a number of things from the beginning of this chapter. We talked about not forgetting the law. We talked about going not to forsake mercy and truth. We also talked about how that is wrapped up into God giving us favor and high esteem. So, but in this verse 13, it says, happy is the man who finds wisdom. So, I'm feeling like, okay, why are we talking about finding? How about seeking? Okay, maybe it's not. Let's see other versions. Other versions have to say about verse 13. Verse 13 says, blessed are those who, this is NIV, blessed are those who find wisdom, those who gain understanding. Joyful is the person who finds wisdom. So everybody is just like find. So it sounds like finding is the appropriate word. NIV is acclaimed to be like the closest translation to the Hebrew script. So now, if it says, happy is the man who finds wisdom, it's more like it goes, you're trying to, finding is not like you went in search of something. That's not the way I'm perceiving it. I'm perceiving it like you are just busy doing what? Not forgetting the law, living a life of mercy and truth, going according to the counsel of the Lord, and all of that. And then in the middle of all of those work, it's like a whole map, right? So in the whole of the map, it's like a compass. You are seeking treasures. When you have trying to find, like you have a compass, you're just moving, and then I find gold here. Oh, I find silver. Oh, and then I find wisdom. Wisdom is one of those things you find when you are walking with the compass of heaven. So the compass of heaven naturally will lead you to wisdom. And then, because it's more like, when you look at, we'll get to that in Proverbs, where it talks about, everything that it talks about who wisdom is. Wisdom is more like Jesus. So it's more like Jesus. So we are trying to find God. In our day-to-day search of Him, one of the very, very most important things for us to find in our work with Him is wisdom. Because it sets us apart from every, when God is speaking to the children of Israel, He says, look, this is going to set you apart from every nation of the earth. He's very, very intentional about it. So he said, you're going to find wisdom. Happy is the man who finds wisdom. There are some who passed by wisdom when they were doing their, living their life, trying to find God, but they skipped wisdom. There's no way you can be well established in the walk with God if we do not find wisdom. Be part, and the man who gains understanding. It's like wisdom and understanding are always like 5 and 6, right? Like A and B, they're always together. So what you find is wisdom, but what you gain as a result of wisdom is understanding. So it's more like the profit of you getting wisdom, because wisdom will lead you to have understanding. Wisdom will lead you to get insight. Wisdom will lead you. You know that one of the reasons why I like to study, to look at Paul's journey is because Paul is someone who it's not just well-read, he's someone, when you look at his writings, he has exceptional wisdom, because he wrote based off of the fact that he was someone who had wisdom of God. He gained understanding, and it made him different. Every disciple, apostles were different on their own level, but Paul was different in his own class. If you understand what I'm saying. Verse 14, for our proceeds, please hold on. For our proceeds are better than the profits of silver, and again than fine gold. So, when you are saying like you are trying to trade, that's when you are talking about profit. So, the reason why you need wisdom is to be able to profit therein. Because you are not reading what everyone is reading. You are not thinking what everyone is thinking. You are not aligning with what everybody is aligning with. You are like different. That's what wisdom is different. Wisdom is exceptional. Remember the story of Jesus, one of his parables, when he said, hey, there was this great man who was going out. He had 3 servants. He said, hey, you take 5, you take 10. He said, you take 5, you take 2, you take 1. And then the person who had 1 was angry. Why? Because he has been with you all along. He already knows your capabilities. That's what wisdom does. Hey, this is what you can work with. This is just this one. I'm not expecting too much. And you see, sometimes we're like that as human most times. We have issues when, truth is being said. I'm going to put it that way. This is just the truth. And one thing I always say is this, because someone is a billionaire does not make him better than you if you are not a millionaire. If you understand what I'm saying. It means he has capacity to enlarge to that point. And for you who is at that level, you have the ability to operate at that level. And it's just ratio issues. Like, this is what you can do. And be happy, rejoice. There's this thing I shared in one of my books, and it's the fact that it's actually in scriptures. When I think it's 2 Corinthians chapter 3, when the Bible was talking about in the great house, they are not only vessels unto honor, they are also vessels unto dishonor. Some unto, they are also vessels. Some are wood, some are hay, and all of that. Now I took it further. I said, okay, in the house, there are vessels, right? Let's give an example. In one particular house, you have little like pots. You have maybe bigger pots. Maybe you have a drum to store water. Maybe you have a bottle to drink water with. Maybe you have a can to, all of those different sizes. 2 liters, 5 liters, 1 liter, 100 liters, 5,000 liters, all of those. But what you want to use a 5,000 liter capacity vessel for, it's not what you want to use 1 liter bottle for. But when you need the 1 liter, when you are in need of the 1 liter, You are not going to take the 5,000 liter capacity there because that's not what is needed. If you take 5,000 liter capacity to where they just say, oh, we just need to give this in 1 liter, and then you take a 5,000, like, what did you come up with? I'll sound stupid, right? So that's how we do not recognize our abilities sometimes. So it's just everybody fitting into what they are made for. When we realize that, it helps us to function properly. When you realize who you are, where you are, and understand how wisdom operates, he said because wisdom is supposed to help you profit. So if you're a 1 liter, so profit at your 1 liter level. And see that the day is going to come. It's just like in a business environment. If you are the MD of a company, and then you have someone who is like a clerk. I mean, in essence, the clerk might not be less in value than the MD, because if the MD say, "Oh, we are going to do this," it's not the one who's going to sit at it. Oh, he will just give the direction. He will need all of the associate, the business managers, blah blah blah, everybody, up to probably the clerk, those who clean the office, everybody, to be able to make things work. Because if the person who is supposed to clean the office does not clean, and the whole place is messed up, there's no way work is going to be possible. So, but most times we always feel like, I want to be the other man. Yes, you can, if you have the ability to be. But recognizing our abilities and the place wisdom plays in helping us to operate in our abilities. That's why I say, you're going to profit. Your profit is going to be more than gold and silver. Now, let's see what wisdom is again. See, we're talking about wisdom because, we have looked at it in first and second chapters. Now, we just want to look at it from another perspective. He said, she is more precious than rubies. Rubies is more like money. And all the things that you may desire cannot compare with her. So, desiring things is great, but wisdom is the greatest things you can desire. And that's what Solomon understood. That's why he said, when God came to him in 1 Chronicles chapter 3, I believe, he said, hey, what do you want? He said, look, it's just one thing I want. Give me wisdom. What? God's like, no. He said, is that what you're asking for? Yes. And he gave him, he said, okay, because you recognize that this is the principal thing, the one that is most important, the one that causes you to excel. Because sometimes when you want to pray, God, give me this, I want to, especially when we have exams, we have all these kind of prayers we pray. But then we don't try to say, just fit into, allow the wisdom. And some of the things we don't realize is when we stretch ourselves a little bit, it allows God to be able to work in us. But when we don't, we just feel like, oh, everything is prepared in us. When we have the Spirit of God, yes, He grants us a lot of stuff. But at the same time, He wants us, it's like He gives you the key, but you don't open the door. You don't put the key into the lock and try to unlock the door before you can open it. You feel like, oh yeah, I have it. That's not how it works. You have to apply the key so that you can be what you are supposed to be. Length of days is in our right hand. Sometimes when I read all of these scriptures and I just see how it is intertwined, it talks about having mercy and truth, giving you length of days. It talked about not forgetting the law, giving you length of days. Let your heart keep my command for length of days and peace. Now, he's still talking about length of days with wisdom. So how did the word come? The word came through wisdom. Right? He said, in our right hand, riches and honor. That's what God gave Solomon. When he said, oh, he gave him length of days. Then he gave him riches and honor. Why? Because he sought after wisdom. Wisdom is something we need in our day-to-day life to be able to be functional for ourselves, for our families, and most importantly, for the purpose for which God created us. Because when we understand exactly why we are here, what we are supposed to accomplish, it makes it easier for us. Our way of pleasantness, and all our paths are peace. She is the tree of life to those who take hold of her, and happy are those who retain her. So now, it says, those who retain her, this is, you know, scripture sometimes does not necessarily mean like 100% what you are reading. It's just like to give you an idea of what this is. We say, okay, our ways are way of pleasantness. All our paths are peace, right? We have looked at peace before. Now she said, she's the tree of life to those who take hold. Like, you take hold of her. It's not something you, wisdom is not something you want to just say, oh, okay. It's just, when you take hold of something, it's not like you are taking it lightly. No. This is something you take very, very seriously. This is something you know that without it, I cannot function. One of the things that makes Daniel most exceptional among all of these people at this time was the wisdom of God in him. See, I think it was Ezekiel who was writing, who said, hey, like for someone like Daniel who had the wisdom of God. You know? So, wisdom separates us from just common men. Wisdom places us on a pedestal. Wisdom brings us into peace. Wisdom puts us in gains. Wisdom puts us in prosperity. Wisdom puts us in long life. Wisdom does all that. When we lay hold on it. Verse 19, it said, the Lord by wisdom. So now, we have looked at the things wisdom can do. Now let's give you a background. I said, like, when you're writing and you want to say, okay, maybe you don't understand what I'm saying this thing can do. Let me give you a background. The Lord, by wisdom, founded the earth. So if I'm telling you wisdom can do this, wisdom can do this. It said even the world that we are living in was founded by wisdom. So you need to get that. So if you're feeling like, but what is wisdom that important? Yeah. That's how this world exists. You cannot just make up this circle the way the world, the whole ecosystem that is called world, head, heaven, the world system itself. You can't make it up. It takes wisdom to arrive, to bring out this kind of stuff. So he said, the Lord by wisdom founded the earth. By understanding, he established the heavens. By his knowledge, the depths were broken up. The clouds dropped down the dew. So when God wanted to, we'll find this out again. When I don't just want to keep referencing that, but we'll find the same, almost like the same quotation in Proverbs 8. Why? Because that's exactly who Jesus is. Jesus is wisdom. Wisdom is Jesus. So he's the one who founded the earth by wisdom. Now, if I have told you what it can do, now I'm telling you what it has done before now. So now I need to talk to you. That's where we are going now. I hope you are getting a perspective of what I'm trying to share with you about in this chapter 3. Like, we have looked at things, we have looked at wisdom. Now we're looking at wisdom from another angle. These are the things it can do. This is what it had done before. This is what it can do for you. Let's see what it can do for you. My son, let them not depart from your eyes. Now, I have let you realize what wisdom can do. You need to know you cannot let it skip. You cannot play with it. Whatsoever you're going to do that will make wisdom get away from you, don't. That's what he's saying to you. Say, keep sound wisdom and discretion. So there will be life to your soul and grace to your neck. There will be life to your soul and grace to your neck. There will be life to your soul and grace to your neck. There will be life to your soul and grace to your neck. So when wisdom is the life of your soul, when your thought process is guided by wisdom, that's where we are going with this. It's grace. You know, when you have then you will walk safely in your way. When it's the life of your soul, you will walk safely in your way and your foot will not stumble. Right? When you lie down, you will not be afraid. Yes, you will lie down and your sleep will be sweet. That's what wisdom does. Do not be afraid of sudden terror, nor of trouble from the wicked when it comes. For the Lord will be your confidence and will keep your foot from being caught. So, wisdom puts a stamp on you. It separates you. It puts you and say, hey, look, this one is different. You cannot touch. You cannot. Why? What does it do? You walk in safety in all of your way. Your foot is not going to stumble. When you lie down, you are not afraid. These are the things scripture says wisdom can do. So it's more like a follow-up of what is in verse 13 to verse 18 is what we have in verse 21 to verse 26 again. Personalizing it for you. That you need to realize some of these things. Maybe you don't get it. These things are, and when you look at the life of Solomon, like Solomon was a very powerful king when he was here, and one of the things was he led a lot of peace. Now you can go. The first thing, like I said before, is he was having 700 wives and everything. He did not remove all of those other things that were in his life. He was a confident person. He was never caught. Nobody ever came to worry him. Terror, battles did not come again. When his father was busy fighting wars here and there, he didn't. He was just busy having it all, having what wisdom gives. Peace all around. The Bible said the wisdom of God that exceeds all understanding. But the peace of God, yeah. So when we understand the place of wisdom, Solomon was just busy living his life. Why? Because he lived in wisdom. He operated in wisdom. His thought process was wisdom. His rationality was wisdom. Everything he did was in wisdom. The Lord will help us in Jesus' name. See, do not withhold good from those to whom it is due, when it is in the power of your hand to do so. This is, okay? Do not say to your neighbor, go and come back, and tomorrow I will give it when you have it with you. Okay? Do not devise evil against your neighbor, for he dwells by you for safety's sake. Do not strive with a man without cause, if he has done you no harm. Do not envy the oppressor, and choose none of his ways. For the perverse person is an abomination to the Lord, but his secret counsel is with the upright. So now I have told you you need wisdom, right? Now I need to help you understand these things. These are the things that can take wisdom away from you. We told you, it said when you give, like we read before, it said when you give, you're going to have abundance. I feel like that doesn't click together, but that's how it's operating in the kingdom. It's by giving that you get more. It's not by withholding, right? He said, do not withhold good from those to whom it is due when it's in the power. When you have it, don't hold it back. Do not say to your neighbor, go and come back. When he already said when you give, it takes care of every other thing. Do not devise evil against your neighbor and all of that. So then he said, now the thing is this, you're a person of wisdom, but then you see an oppressor. Because sometimes when you see people oppressed, you feel like things are working for them more than you. Wisdom is already speaking to you. Don't choose that way. It's just like Psalm 137 say, the way of don't follow the way of the evil one. He said, for the perverse person is an abomination to the Lord. The perverse person is an abomination to the Lord. Do not fret. Psalm 37. Do not fret because of evildoers, not be envious of the workers of iniquity. For they shall soon be cut down like the grass and wither as the green herb. You understand? That's what scripture tells us in Proverbs in Psalm 37. Don't seek the way of the oppressor. Choose the way of wisdom. He said for the perverse person is an abomination to the Lord. So, but the counsel of the Lord is with the upright. So every day, when you know it, when you don't, his counsel stands strong with you. The curse of the Lord is on the house of the wicked, and he blesses the home of the just. Just look at that. When you answer the just, God blesses your home. Surely he scorns the scornful, but gives grace to the humble. Look at that. He gives grace to the humble. The wise shall inherit glory, but shame shall be the legacy of fools. So, this comparison is just to let you realize that there are reasons why I am encouraging you to stick with wisdom. Because when you stick with wisdom, you will inherit glory. You will bless your home. It will give you grace. It will give you a secret counsel. And all of those will be your portion once you choose the way of wisdom. So, I want to conclude with this fact that wisdom is essential in our day-to-day living. We need to ask intentionally to say, Lord, I need wisdom. I need to be able to operate and live my life according to your will, because your intention is for me to be blessed above all things. And the only way I can be blessed is to walk in wisdom. Help me so to walk and give glory to your holy name. In Jesus' holy name. Amen. Thank you for coming in today again, and God bless you.